So I'm an acupuncturist and an astrologer, and I do seasonal cleansing. So I'm going to explain to you today why you need to cleanse and why you want to cleanse at the change of seasons. So why do you want to cleanse? Well, you want to cleanse because we live in a really toxic world. Everybody knows that there's tons of pollution, that industry is pumping heavy metals and toxins in our air, in our water, in our food. It's very hard to not consume some of these toxins into our body. And so even if you're eating all organic, um, you're still going to be toxic because you live in LA or you live in the city, and even if you live in the woods, you'll be less toxic. But the entire planet, unfortunately, is pretty toxic. So, and a lot of the degenerative diseases that people are plagued with, like heart disease and cancer, there's a really big component of toxins in that. They say that only 30% of diseases are due to, is genetic, and the rest is due to your environment. So you can control some of your environment, like the food that you eat, but there's a lot of it that you can't control. And unfortunately, our bodies become burdened by too many toxins, and our immune system becomes overwhelmed, and it just creates this cascade of poor health and disease. So one of the reasons why we cleanse is to be healthy. And the other reason why we cleanse is to be holy, to become spiritual, to become pure, to purify our body temple. And that's why I like to cleanse on the change of the seasons, because we're affected by the cycles of nature. We're affected by the new moon and the full moon. We're affected by the different signs of the zodiac. We're affected by the different seasons and the different ages. So I'll be talking about that in subsequent videos, but for right now we're just talking about the seasons. So we're moving into the season of spring, and so March 20th is the spring equinox. Equinox means equal day and equal night. So on the equinox there's an equal day. The days and the nights are equal. So not only is it the beginning of spring, but it's the beginning of the astrological new year. So the spring equinox is 0 degrees Aries, the beginning of the first sign of the zodiac, which is Aries. Now, we say that the new year is January 1st, but January 1st is in the middle of the winter. And winter, well, it's right after the winter solstice, actually. And winter is a time of introspection. It's a time of apparent death. It looks like the trees are dead. All the leaves have fallen off in the fall. The leaves fall to the ground, and they fertilize the ground for the future growth in spring. And then in the winter time, the animals are hibernating. There's no leaves. It looks like everything is dead, but really everything has just gone in, and it's just, pulling its resources to get through the winter. So during the winter, we go within ourselves, we're introspective. We do look at the year, and we decide what worked and what didn't work, and we decide what we want to release, and we meditate and we connect with our spirit. So we do plant seeds on New Year's for our new year. We set our New Year's resolutions, but really those new things don't really happen until the springtime. And the springtime is about new birth. It's when the baby animals are born and the flowers are blooming and all the little new shoots burst through the ground. And so it's so much energy towards renewal and rebirth and regeneration. It's a time of new ideas and new beginnings. It's a great time to start any new projects. It is the astrological New Year, and in fact it's the Persian New Year, so they have a better idea about the New Year's than other people do. So the spring is new beginnings. The spring is Aries. Aries is a fire sign. It's the ram. The ram, pushes through it, headbutts its way into wherever it wants to go. It's very headstrong and strong-willed. It's ruled by Mars, which is, sort of aggressive, masculine, forward, pushing forward, sort of like the shoots that are pushing through the earth is like the Aries energy. They push forward, they push through things. And it's a fire sign, so they're very inspirational, they have a lot of passion. They have great ideas. They're the new idea people. They're the executives of the zodiac. They're very ambitious. They're the business people of the zodiac with Capricorn also. So Aries is, that's what Aries is like. Let's see. And so we know that in the springtime, we everybody sort of spring cleaning. Everybody cleans their house. So back in the day when, or wherever it's snowing and really cold, in California we don't really see these changes of season so much because it's pretty much always pretty nice, although we've had a lot of rain, which is good because now we're going to have more flowers and more greenery in the springtime. So people are locked away in their homes during the winter time. They're very introspective. They go within themselves. And then in the springtime, they open all the windows. They air everything out. They clean out their closets. They dust everything. They do like a really, really thorough cleansing of their entire house. Well, our body is like our house. We need to cleanse our body in the springtime. We need to cleanse all of the old toxins, all of the old ideas, all of the old energies that we decided we want to release in the winter. Well, let's release them in the spring so that we can move forward with whatever ideas or projects or new beginnings that we have. So in Chinese medicine, which, like I said, I'm an acupuncturist, I'm a doctor of Chinese medicine, we also talk about the seasons as having different energetics, and the spring rules the liver. So it is the perfect time to do a liver cleanse in the spring. And the liver is represented by the wood element. So I like to think of wood like bamboo. Wood is very, strong and sinewy, and, they're like the starters. They're like they say that the liver is the general of the body. It's like telling your whole body what to do. It's making all the decisions, and Aries is great at making decisions. And the springtime is the time to make decisions. So, but the wood element is like bamboo. So it needs to be supple. So that it can be green, otherwise it can bend and snap. So when the liver is not properly nourished, then people become angry, and that is the emotion of the springtime and of the liver is anger. So we're also going to cleanse our body of any anger because, in Kundalini Yoga, which I practice, they say that anger destroys your entire body. Anger is one of the most toxic emotions that there is. And you may be angry at somebody else, but you're really damaging yourself. And so when you forgive somebody, forgiveness is for you more so than the other person. It doesn't really affect them that much if you forgive them unless you have a relationship with them. But it really affects you if you forgive somebody because you're releasing this toxic anger. And so that's the spiritual component of cleansing. So when you have these toxic emotions, they're stored in these toxins in our body. So when we release these toxins, we release the toxic energies and the toxic emotions, and they vibrate at a lower rate. And so the universe doesn't like a vacuum. So as soon as you release those old lower energies, we're going to fill it up with the higher energies so that we can move forward, liver, spring, move forward, make new decisions, move forward in our life in a new direction, have new beginnings, start a new business, start a website. That's what I'm planning on doing. So it's a great time, and so it's a great time for cleansing and cleansing our liver. And this is a very special year because it's 2011. Everybody knows about 2012. A lot of people don't really know what it is. They think it's like the end of the world and it's like death and doomsday, which is absolutely not true at all. We're moving into a golden era. We're moving into an age of peace and love and light. And I'm going to talk about that more in the future. But 11/11/11, November 11th, 2011, is a really powerful portal of this new vibrational energy that has been coming in. I'm sure if you're spiritual, you've been feeling it. It's very intense and it's very powerful, and we're getting bombarded with light, which brings up our darkness to be released. And so that's another way that we're going to be in alignment with the universe. We're going to, release our darkness on purpose without having to have like disaster and difficulty in our life. Okay, it's the springtime. Let's out with the old, in with the new. Let's be in alignment with the new season. Let's be in alignment with the new era, which is the era of love and light. And then 2012, December 21st, 2012, is, the beginning of this new era, this golden age, age of Aquarius. There's like 4 different things happening during this time. I mean, this is a lifetime that we've been waiting for lifetimes and lifetimes. It's very special. So I'll talk about that more in the future, but please join me for my spring cleanse. Thank you. Satnam.